Hey everybody, and welcome back to the macro. Hope everyone is having a great day out there. You know what the United States is really good at? The United States is great at consumers. Producing consumers. Now, this video is not a discussion about whether it's right or wrong. That's not what we're going to discuss here. You can make up your own mind and figure that part out. All right. I'm here to just give you what the truth is, and you have to internalize that information for yourself based on your situation, because it's important to understand this. Now, this wasn't always the case with the United States. Let's go back in time a little bit. Back during the 40s, 50s, and 60s, we were the manufacturing powerhouse of the globe. We produced the world's best stuff, and in return, the world sent us their money, their gold. Now, an underlying economic force that Richard Cantillon from the 17th century talks about a lot in his essay on economics. And by the way, if you want a really detailed explanation on this and how probably better than I can explain it, please check out the Uneducated Economist on YouTube. He is a brilliant man with a fantastic YouTube channel. Absolutely amazing, and has helped me to understand a lot of stuff. So shout out to uneducated economist Simon. You're the man. But anywho, as this was happening, as the world was sending us their money and their gold, right, for our products, one thing that begins to occur in a nation is that they begin to increase their standard of living. And when this happens, this allows foreign manufacturers to come into play and compete with that country. And what they do is they're able to produce similar, right, goods. It may not be as good, but it's a very similar product at a much cheaper cost. Now, fast forward more in time, I believe if I'm getting my dates correctly, it was in 1974 where former President Nixon took us off the gold standard for the US dollar, and the US dollar became what we call a fiat currency today. Fiat meaning by government decree. And as a result of this, the dollar no longer had a pegging to let's say, a tangible good of something that we would perceive to have value. That all went away. So now today we have this debt-based, credit-based monetary system. And so now the US is in a very unique position, because think about it, how it works today. The US has the largest money printer in the world. We've been able to inflate our way out of many problems in the past, and I believe we will continue to do so as long as the US dollar remains the world reserve currency. But today here in the United States, right, because of our ability to print money, we buy the world's goods and services. We buy other nations' products. Think about the U.S. Treasury issues out Treasury bills, right, which other countries buy. And by the way, please understand how the U.S. Treasury bond market works. It is the most important financial asset in the world. If the bond market fails, the entire financial system fails. That's how critical it is. And it's mainly because the dollar is still the world reserve currency today. Right, so as this new money comes into existence, it gets, sent to the banks. The banks are able to issue out loans, whether it's a credit card loan, and auto loan, whatever it is, a mortgage, all these different things, all this new money that's flowing into the system, right, that we don't have to work for. And that's the thing. Other nations have to produce something. But here in the United States, we have this privilege of being able to print new money that goes into the system. And with this new money, we buy other nations' goods, and they benefit from that, right? And then not only that, we have to make sure that if they buy treasury bonds, that we have to pay that money back with interest, whatever that interest rate is at the time. So the United States is in a very unique position. And so we still produce stuff here in the United States, don't get me wrong, but our ratio from what we export to what we import is really off. We import significantly more than what we export. We do. So knowing this information, is there something that you maybe could produce that other people would want to consume? Right? Because it's more than just about consuming goods and services. We're living in an attention-based economy. That's what we're moving towards due to social media. And I'm not here to say that social media is good or bad. Again, that's not what the conversation is. You have to internalize this information for yourself and figure out what to do with it. That's all I'm saying. I'm just giving you what the facts are. And again, just here's a good example. The idea of tariffs, right? Putting a tax on things that come into the country. You know what that actually represents? That reveals that there's an underlying issue with U.S. manufacturing. That's all. That's what it reveals. It reveals that we have a problem. And as much money as we want to throw at U.S. manufacturing in the future, it's going to be a very difficult time trying to compete with foreign nations who have already mastered the ability to create goods, similar goods, right, at a much cheaper cost. Even if the quality is not as good, the American people are not going to pay a significantly higher price, especially now. It doesn't make any sense for them to do so. And I get it. This is why American-made goods today are so much more expensive than something that comes out of China. That's just what the facts are, guys. That's all I'm saying. So we'll see what happens in the future. I know that there's a lot of discussion about, tariffs that may come from the future Trump administration. We don't exactly know what that looks like. Again, it's just discussion. He could get into office and totally back down from all that. I don't know. Like, I'm just completely speculating on it. I think other people are as well. We'll see what happens. But again, it's important to understand that the world we're living in today, especially with the United States, is that we produce consumers. And in order for the system to continue on going, in order for this economy, which you and I make up, by the way, it's you and I collectively in the decisions that we make every single day, right? Whether we choose to go to work or not, whether we choose to be an entrepreneur, whether we choose to have a small business, whether we choose to have the side hustle, all these things collectively from all of us gives us the economy. Anywho, I hope you guys were able to take away something from this, and I'll talk to you again soon. Take care.